Welcome, everybody. And before we begin, we will have a prayer by Councilman Carlos Graham, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Lord, I ask that you continue to have your hands on this city and that you provide this leadership team with the wisdom to guide Jefferson City in the right direction. Lord, I ask that you speak to us in different ways so that we can make decisions to help make lives better in our community. Lord, I pray that these leaders standing here tonight continue to do what is best for all people. Bless our public safety members and their families. Be with them while they are serving and protecting our city. Lord, I ask that you dispatch your angel of protection around our city. I also pray, Lord, for our nation's safety. I ask that you bless the soldiers that stand in harm's way each and every day to help ensure our freedom and safety. I ask that you keep those that live here in these United States of America safe from others whose intentions are to do us harm, for being free, for worshiping you, and for allowing people to speak freely. May your blessing, O God, be with us this day and every day to come. And may all we do be done for your greater honor and glory. In your darling Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome. I will now call to order the Monday, August 21st, Eclipse Day 2017 City Council meeting. Mrs. Powell, roll call, please.
Fitzwater.
Here.
Graham.
Here.
Henry.
Here.
Hussey. Here. Kemna.
Here.
Mahalovich.
Here.
Prather.
Here.
Schreiber.
Here.
Ward. Here. Wiseman.
Here. Great. So we had the eclipse, and we're all still here. Jefferson City's still here. We're all still here after the totality, and we are still here. We're even more here. We are really on the map now. That was quite an event. So glad we are all here tonight. I will now entertain a motion for adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 4, miscellaneous agenda items. We have item A, recognizing Mr. Clint Bishop as Outstanding Employee for August. Mr. Kroll.
And I will ask Mr. Bishop to come forward. And his department director, Sonny Sanders, had another emergency tonight, so I'll ask Jamie Abbott to come up. So I'll read through the nomination form as it was submitted. Congratulations to Clint Bishop, City of Jefferson Housing and Property Inspector, for receiving the City of Jefferson Outstanding Employee Service Award for August 2017. This recognition is not only for the specific examples referenced in the nomination form, but also in recognition of all the service Mr. Bishop provides to the citizens of Jefferson City on an ongoing basis. So some of the information provided in the nomination form. Mr. Bishop always maintains a positive attitude and helps others when needed. Mr. Bishop works with the citizens to find a solution that works to achieve compliance on the various areas in which he works, which is property maintenance inspections. And Mr. Bishop also serves in the role of cemetery sexton, helping to care for the city-owned cemeteries. Mr. Bishop's significant contributions to the overall quality of life of the city are recognized and appreciated. Congratulations and thanks to Clint Bishop, City of Jefferson Housing and Property Inspector, on receiving the City of Jefferson Outstanding Employee Service Award for August 2017. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Mr. Bishop, and I'd like to make a presentation to you and get a picture, but I want to personally thank you, and also on behalf of the city. And I often hear your name in such a good way, and it's not common that I mean, usually you hear complaints, I guess I should say, but what I really hear from you are just wonderful comments, and I hear that on a continuous basis, and I know that's why you're standing here today. So I appreciate it because it is noticed by your colleagues and also by those of us at the city, because for people to take the time out and say positive things, it really does reflect very well on you. So thank you for taking good care of things at the city, and I would like to present to you some gift certificates and a special city coin. Congratulations again, Mr. Bishop. And item B, we have a special introduction this evening. We'd like to introduce Interim Lincoln University President, Mr. Michael Middleton, and his wife, Dr. Julia Middleton. So if you would like to come forward to the podium, we would like to officially welcome you here on behalf of the City of Jefferson. So we want to personally welcome you, and we're so glad to have you. And we have such a wonderful relationship between the city and Lincoln University, and we were just very glad to have you all fill this position and have you here in this capacity. And our city government has a spot for a student representative, so we always enjoy having that direct student contact here. So with the new school year starting, we will soon have a new student representative. So that's something that we really enjoy, is having that direct link to the students. And then also we have a lot of ways that we do participate with Lincoln throughout the year at different activities and events. In fact, last week was the Lincoln University Day of Service, and they spent a day here at City Hall and helped out at numerous places within the city. So your students are actively engaged in making our city better, and we appreciate it. So we wanted to give you an opportunity to tell us a little about yourself, and so welcome, and we'd love to hear from you.
Okay, I'll start. I have to start because she will take over. We're both delighted to become a part of the city of Jefferson in this capacity. Julie and I both have brothers who attended Lincoln back in the 60s and 70s, so we have a fondness and great concern for Lincoln. You know, my last job was as president of the University of Missouri system after my first retirement. And after that retirement, I was asked to come and be the interim president of Lincoln, which I jumped at the chance because I really did want to see what I could do to help Lincoln thrive. I'm grateful for the work of President Rome in putting together this partnership with the city of Jefferson. And I know that I have to give some credit for that to my new interim chief of staff, Carlos Graham, who I don't know how he works as a city councilman and as a business owner and as my chief of staff, and as I learned tonight, as a preacher sometimes. And he's very good at all of it. So thank you, Carlos. And there are a couple of other members of my staff here. I saw our director of development and our athletics director and basketball coach. Would you guys stand up and introduce yourselves, please?
Earl Paul, director of the Philanthropy Foundation, former graduate of Lincoln University, and 2 degrees from Lincoln. Used to work for Mayor Christie, so in another building. So great to be really helping
Welcome.
And hopefully Mr. Wheatfall can get in some of your pockets.
And I'm John Mosley, Director of Athletics and head men's basketball coach. I've seen many of you, but thanks for giving Dr. President Middleton the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, and I keep looking up at Thomas Jefferson, and I can't help but be reminded that one of the things he talked about most was the importance of an educated citizenry for effective government. And I am proud of the fact that our students have made a connection with the city council and the city. And I'm hopeful that Lincoln can continue to educate people for responsible citizenship and move this country forward. We so desperately need good leadership and informed leadership. So that's a challenge, of course, these days, but we're going to do the best we can with your help. So I promise you I'll keep trying to forge this partnership if you promise me you'll help us build an institution that the city can be proud of. With a great institution, a great university in your city only becomes greater. So thanks for having us, and I'll turn it over to Julie for her graciousness.
Good evening. Yes, I'm Julie Middleton, and I am just delighted to be here tonight. Thanks so much for having us. And it's my pleasure and my honor to serve as First Lady of Lincoln University. I want to serve as a partner with Mike in all things that he does for the university and with the university. And I, too, believe in the importance of university-community relations. And I'm going to do everything that I can to help to bring the university and the community together. I hope that you will feel that 601 Jackson is your home as well as ours. We hope to host many activities there. We will be inviting you from time to time, maybe to football games and other athletic events, and we hope that you will come. And so we hope to see you soon, and we hope to see you often. So again, it's my pleasure to be here. My background is education as well. I attended University of Missouri, and I also attended an HBCU, Jackson State, for my master's degree, and my doctorate is from the University of Missouri. And I have served as a professor of educational leadership, and also I started actually as a first grade teacher. So I certainly understand the importance of education myself. And actually I've worked very closely with Councilwoman Ward here. We both worked in extension together for many years. So it's delightful to see you today. So again, thank you to each of you for having us here tonight, and we hope to see you again soon. And I look forward to working very closely with all of you.
Well, thank you very much and welcome. And I know you've said that you plan to open the President's Home, and you've already done that. You've already shown
Yes,
that
we
because
have.
the Golden Hammer was awarded to the Lincoln
That was
University
a delightful
President's
day, by
Home.
the way.
That was
Yes.
wonderful, and
Thank you
it's
for
great
that.
to recognize the history of the home and have the public invited to enjoy that, and we look forward to that. And Lincoln University, you touched on the education piece and how important that is, and also when we as a city look at the economic impact of Lincoln University, you are one of our top employers, I believe one of the top 5 in our city, so one of the top employers, and we don't often think about the economic impact and jobs and other components that go along with the growth of Lincoln University. So we appreciate the asset that Lincoln is to our community, and then also our new partnerships with the Parks and Rec Link, where we're able to have that the partnership together with Lincoln. So we look forward to carrying that into the future. And I know there's an event coming up this week. Councilman Graham, would you like to touch on that?
Yes, so this Wednesday night at 6 p.m. downtown, we have the Blue Tiger Fest, in which we will welcome the new students to the city of Jefferson, and we'll welcome back the returning students. So for everybody who's listening to us through the MediaCom and the web, please come out this Wednesday, 6 p.m. downtown, and help us to welcome our students to Jefferson City and back to Lincoln University. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
We will look forward to that. And we'd like to get a picture, so if you two would like to come forward, and then also the others here that are from Lincoln, and then we'll have the city council come behind us, and we'll get a photograph together and share this.
It'll be on Facebook.
Yes, you know it. You know it'll be.
Oh, 10:30, okay. Stand by me tonight. He can't stand by me tonight.
My shoes do not touch Mrs. Middleton's, though.
You can't.
All right, and while I'm here, I should say, go Blue Tigers, as we have Coach back here. So we are, go Blue Tigers.
And I do want to say, for the mayor takes her seat, the football stadium is coming along quite well. If you haven't had a chance to ride by the new football stadium, please ride by there. You will be impressed. I can honestly say that looks really like a college football stadium. The scoreboard is outstanding, so I am excited. We're going to get a chance to play a night football game. So we do have new lights that's coming up. So if you haven't had a chance to ride by there and see the progress. I am very proud of Coach Mosley, his vision, and I'm just excited and can't wait to get that first night football game. And we get that first win on September the 2nd as we travel to Langston University in Langston, Oklahoma. So if you haven't had a chance, please ride by there and see the new stadium.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right, and I do want to mention we have a few public hearings this evening. There is not a public hearing, though, for the South Side Old Munichburg Neighborhood Plan. So if anyone is here for that this evening, at the request of the South Side Old Munichburg Neighborhood, they have requested that we not have that this evening, that it would be at the next council meeting, which would be Tuesday, September 5th. And I will note that is a Tuesday because of Labor Day. So if anyone is here for the South Side Old Munichburg, they have requested that we move that public hearing to Tuesday, September 5th. And then also I'd like to recognize, we always like to recognize our scouts that are in the audience this evening. And we do have a couple of Boy Scouts here tonight, so if they would please stand. Wonderful. We're glad to have you. And what school are you all from? Homeschool? New Bloomfield? And homeschooled. Wonderful. Well, we are very glad to have you here tonight. Thank you. All right, and we do have Item 5, the public hearings. Item A, the 2018 budget and gross utilities tax. And we have associated bill number 2017-41 with that. Mrs. Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This ordinance adopts a budget and personnel classification plan for the period November 1st, 2017 to October 31st, 2018, and appropriates monies out of the funds to support the budget. The budget ordinance for the general fund is projected to be $32,441,302.38, with additional funding for other funds and for capital projects, bringing the total City of Jefferson budget for fiscal year 2018 to $63,360,002.10.
Are there any questions of Mrs. Miller? All right, at this time I will open the public hearing for item 2017-41. Is there anyone here that would like to speak on this item? All right, seeing none, I will close the public hearing portion. And at this time we will take up Bill 2017-41. Is there any council, or we'll have Mrs. Powell read the bill, I'm sorry.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, adopting a budget and personnel classification plan for the city for the period of November 1, 2017 to October 31, 2018, and appropriating money in the city treasury to pay the cost of operating the city government during that period in accordance with the budget.
All right, is there any council discussion or deliberation this evening? Councilman Mihaljevic?
I'd just like to thank the staff and the department directors for their presentations on the budget. I think they did a great job, and pulling together that much information in one document is really a huge task, and it made our life a little easier as we went through our deliberations, and I'm glad that we can send that to the full council.
And thank you, Councilman Mahalovich, for leading the Budget Committee and leading those meetings as well. Any council comments, deliberation? Okay, Mrs. Powell, roll call, please.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Henry.
Aye.
Hussey.
Aye.
Kemna.
Aye.
Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Schreiber.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Wiseman.
Aye.
Bill passes. Item B, we have a public hearing this evening establishing the 2017 tax levy rate. Should I have margin first? Okay, Mrs. Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. A state statute requires that cities establish their property tax rates on an annual basis. These rates are computed based upon changes in the assessed valuation. The initial information is prepared by the county, and the calculations are verified by the Missouri State Auditor's Office. The proposed 2017-2018 budget has been prepared based on the property tax rate for general fund at 46 cents and the fireman's pension rate at .0961 cent. That proposed tax rate is the same as the current tax rate. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mrs. Miller? Okay, and at this time I'll open the public hearing for this item. Is there anyone here that would like to speak about Bill 2017-42? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing portion. And Mrs. Powell, if you'll read the bill.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, providing for the levy of city taxes and establishing the rate of taxation for the City of Jefferson, Missouri for the year 2017.
Any council deliberation? Mrs. Powell, roll call, please.
Graham.
Aye.
Henry.
Aye.
Hussey.
Aye.
Kemna.
Aye.
Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Schreiber.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Wiseman.
Aye.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Bill passes. And thank you, Mrs. Miller and the Finance Department for all your work on the budget. Appreciate it. Item 6, there are no appointments by the mayor. Item 7, presentations from staff, consultants, and invited guests. There are none. Item 8, announcements by mayor, council, and staff. I will start with some of my announcements. Last week, there was the first official home game for the Helias football field. The Ray Henches Stadium was opened, and they had a ribbon cutting and their first game and a field blessing, and it was a really wonderful thing for our community. It was packed that evening, and really nice to see that. I know the city has worked very closely with Helias and the Public Works Department on a lot of the updates there at Helias, so that was great to see the football field in action. And then also United Way, I'd like to announce that the city is a participant in United Way, so we put pledge cards at all of the council seats, and if you would like to make any pledge, our goal, whatever it may be, it can be anything, but I'd like to see 100% council participation. I know the city has a goal to reach a certain amount of participation, and if we reach that, and if we get 100% participation, I know Steve just graciously volunteered to dress up as a Disney character, and he was smiling and very happy about it, so it's going to be fine. So if we can get to that 100% with council, so I don't think that'll be a problem, just like our selfie challenge. If we put our minds to it, we can do it. But it is a Disney theme. That's why you're going to dress up as something. So Mayor Snow White asked for everybody to please think of something to give. And I know the public in Jefferson City is such a giving community and supports the United Way, so it's great to see. I want to thank our city staff that also gives of their own time and income to support United Way. So thank you. And, of course, the big thing has been the eclipse. So, wow, what an amazing day. The skies we were very blessed here in Jefferson City that we had wonderful viewing opportunities here, and to be one of the few places that NASA selected to come and to broadcast live was just incredible. And I got to see some of that in action, some of the work that went into that, and watching all the different cities and watching them come to Jefferson City was just fantastic. All of our public safety groups that came together and made it happen. I know it took every city department working together, and I heard so many positive things, and it really reflects on our city employees and all they did, the police and fire and public works and parks and every department, literally. The buses were running, everything. Every department worked so hard to pull off the eclipse and to welcome that many visitors from all over the country, from just about every state I can think of, near and far. I met somebody from Alaska last night. I met people from different countries, from Germany, from Croatia, from England, and I've just heard everybody talking about everywhere that people have been from that came here and chose Jefferson City as the place they wanted to come to view the eclipse, and heard nothing but fantastic, wonderful comments from all of our visitors who got to see the eclipse. So appreciate that. We also were fortunate to have an astronaut here. Colonel Michael Hopkins, who is a Missouri astronaut, was here today on the courthouse area where NASA was broadcasting. He was here watching the eclipse. He did a special breakfast with the astronaut yesterday, so we got to meet a real astronaut, and that was very exciting to have him here in Jefferson City and have NASA here and just everything. So really, really thankful. So we officially declared in the city of Jefferson yesterday as Michael Hopkins Day for the astronaut, and then today was officially Capital Eclipse Day. So the city did bestow these 2 special days with everything going on at the eclipse. So I hope everybody had a great eclipse, and very, very thankful that we had the crowds and the weather and just everything was just shining down on us perfectly, and we were just totally excited about totality. So that concludes my report. And is there any other council announcements this evening? Anything else going on in the city of Jefferson other than eclipse? Okay, there's something else. Councilman Mahalovich.
The public announced budget committee meetings will be are no longer going to be held as a result of the budget committee voting to bring this to council. So we will be canceling those if we haven't already.
All right, so make note of that. Take those off your calendar. Councilman Henry?
And then also, thank you, Madam Mayor. Due to the lack of agenda items for Public Works and Planning meeting this upcoming Thursday, that has been canceled.
Okay, Public Works and Planning canceled.
Morning meeting, yes.
Okay. There might be another a tour in place of that. Is it the following week, maybe?
Yes, we'll be having a tour available for the city council. Of course, there's limited space with a tour on a bus, but we'll be viewing some stormwater sites, whether it's maintenance projects and some flood control projects, just to familiarize the council with those type projects.
Okay.
And it's Thursday at noon to 1 is our plan.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any other council announcements or committees? Oh, Councilman Fitzwater?
I had a question just going back to your report on, we didn't get an update on the selfie challenge, who actually won that.
Oh. Well, I think the judge is over here, Carlos.
Yes.
And I'm the one who gave the moon pies, by the way, in case you're...
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
just to sweeten the pot a little bit.
Councilman Fitzwater, thanks for bringing that up. I had a chance to look out on Facebook, and I saw the many selfies that was taken by our mayor and our city councilman, our colleague there, Councilman Holovic. And it is with great pleasure that I announced the winner for the selfie for the eclipse for 2017, and that goes to our mayor, Mayor Carrie Turgeon. So
well,
you won it.
Well,
so Rick, I saw both of your selfies, Rick. I really enjoyed those two.
Point of order, Councilman. Point of order.
Oh.
Point of order. I appreciate that because, as we know, I don't know that anybody can out-selfie the mayor. I mean, I think that's, like, not physically possible. No. And if you really were to try to count, how many selfies and all the likes and the shares, you would be here all night and all day, and I don't know that you can actually quantify exactly how many selfies we had. But I have to say, I have to hand it to Councilman Mahalovich over here, because I have never seen anyone, I mean, yeah, you gave us this challenge, but he was at every event, every location, every places I've never even seen in Jefferson City. He was there with his selfie glasses on. So if you haven't checked out Councilman Mahalovich's Facebook post, I have to give it to you, Councilman. You were everywhere. You almost outdid the mayor, but I'm going to hand it to you, and I'm going to say you won the Eclipse Challenge. So in honor of that, I made you a special Eclipse, the Mayor's Cup, and it has bling, because if you're going to outdo the mayor, you got to have a little bling. So there you go for your office. It has the Eclipse date. So you are the winner. So to commemorate, I think we need a selfie with Councilman Graham. So one more. Oh, you have them. Oh, you've got them. What am I talking about? Come here,
I just want to
Councilman
say thank you to Councilman Holovic for stepping up to the plate and actually wanting to challenge the mayor in a selfie contest.
Who would ever challenge me in a selfie contest
Thank you.
is what I want to know. But, you know, it's been fun getting it out to the public of everything going on in Jeff City. So you furthered that. Okay. So
you need one.
Oh, you, Carlos.
You had your two.
Here.
My 2 likes.
Okay, your 2 likes. All right.
Sure you guys are
Okay, 1, 2, 3. I can't see. Here we go.
1, 2, 3. I can't see.
Okay, hopefully we got it.
She still can't see.
If anyone hasn't, thank you. Here's your prize.
Oh,
thank you. Yeah, with the bling. If anyone hasn't tried to take a selfie with these, that it's nearly impossible. But I hope everybody had their Eclipse glasses, and maybe they'll keep them for a souvenir. So pretty cool. But good job. I got to hand it to you, Councilman Mahalovich. I'm most impressed. And
washing your car, by the way.
I think I heard some bribing going on in the other room before this meeting. I'm just saying, but just kidding. But you really did work it hard, and I made the rules, so, but you still win. All right. Any other announcements? Okay. And presentations from the gallery on specific bills or resolutions. We have Mr. Paul Sampson on 2017-59. Beath Drive. Welcome, Mr. Sampson.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Tonight I'd like to ask for the Council's approval of the final PUD plan for 1732 and 1736 Beath Drive, which is being introduced tonight with public hearing and approval at the next council meeting. With the approval of this plan, Cindy Juckett and her family will construct a preschool and a hospice care facility next to the existing Jefferson City Manor nursing home. The preliminary PUD plan was approved by the council on June 19th, and at that meeting there were some concerns raised about the project, which we've been working to address in the final PUD plan submittal. And I'll just quickly run through some of those items. Buffer yard widths have been increased and screening trees have been added adjacent to existing residential properties. There's more detailed analysis of stormwater runoff concerns showing that runoff rates following the construction of the project will actually be less than the existing runoff rates. There's a detailed analysis of traffic volumes on Beath Drive showing that the current traffic volumes are significantly less than traffic volumes prior to the Highway 179 extension. Also included are projections that entrances into the development will have traffic volumes that are less than 1 vehicle per minute. All these additions are shown on the revised plan and described in the project narrative, and I'll go over those in more detail at the next meeting. In addition, the Jucketts have held a public meeting for anybody who had expressed any concerns about the project, and we invited the 2 Fourth Ward councilmen as well as the mayor to that meeting. At the conclusion of that meeting, there was one property owner in attendance, and all of the concerns of that property owner were addressed, and they had no other issues with the project at that time. So as you look through the final PUD submittal prior to the next meeting, if you have any questions or additional comments, please feel free to get a hold of myself, and I'll be happy to sit down and meet with anybody who would like to do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Sampson? All right. Thank you for being here. Item 10, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 11, bills introduced, 2017-59.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri approving a final PUD plan for property addressed as 1732 and 1736 Beath Drive.
Mr. Sanders, or I'm sorry, Mrs. Abbott.
I'm going to turn it on over to my coworker, Eric Barron.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This bill would approve a final PUD development plan for the property located at 1732, 1736 Veith Drive. The plan outlines development of the property with a daycare and skilled nursing facility. The preliminary PUD plan for this development was approved at the June 19th City Council meeting. PUD plans are approved in a two-step process, a preliminary plan and then also a final plan. This final plan is being brought forward to the council for its final consideration. The applicant's consultant has refined the development plans as he went over just prior to the introduction of this bill. Mr. Paul Sampson with Central Missouri Professional Services representing the project. They have added additional information to the narrative attached to the PUD plan. They've also amended portions of the plan in order to respond to some of the comments that were received at the public hearing for the preliminary plan. The property is located on Veith Drive. It's highlighted up on the location map up on the screen. Located on the west side of Veith Drive, about 2,000 feet north of Route C. The property is zoned a PUD, planned unit development. The rezoning of the property from an RS2, a single-family residential district, was approved along with that preliminary PUD plan at the June 19th City Council meeting. Up on the screen is the approved preliminary plan for the development of the property, so the plan that was approved in June. And then the final PUD plan, they've changed a few items on that plan, refined the plan, so to speak, a little bit, mostly in terms of landscaping. They've added some landscaping on the southern side of the property to provide a little bit of screening from the neighboring residential house to the south. That landscaping consists of a row of evergreen trees, essentially along the southern boundary of the property. They also identified that some of the existing trees that are in place adjacent to Veith Drive would be left in place, not disturbed during development. And some of the areas where there are no trees right now would be, they would add evergreen trees to that area in order to improve the screening from Veith Drive and the residential homes on the opposite side of the street. There's a toddler playground that was located near the southern property line. They moved it to the rear of a building to get it away from that property line a little bit. And they also identified some of the trees on the western side of the property, so that's back behind the development and adjacent to some of the Colonial Hills residential area as being buffer yard. In other words, that they would be left in place, not disturbed, except in order to do the development to make a sewer line connection and also build a stormwater detention basin back there. Stormwater details are contained within the narrative. It does include construction of a stormwater basin. As the consultant referenced, it is designed to release water at a lower rate than currently exists, so it would in effect be improving the stormwater situation for the neighborhood to the west. With that, it is scheduled for a public hearing at the September 5th City Council meeting, and I'd be happy to answer any initial questions that the council may have.
Thank you, Mr. Barron. Are there any questions? All right, thank you. 2017-60.
An ordinance amending the 2016-2017 budget of the City of Jefferson, Missouri by changing the personnel schedule within the Department of Public Works Wastewater Division.
Mr. Marash.
Thank you, Mayor. This is somewhat of a cleanup ordinance, but basically some years ago an individual was transferred from our airport to our wastewater division, and their position that was crew leader at the time, and it just remained so on the transfer. That position is the same pay grade as basically our operators, and so as we advertise, this person just retired, and so as we advertise for their replacement, we'd like to change that name to operator so that we can better communicate to our applicant pool what the job is.
Thank you. Any questions? All right, 2017-61.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri amending Chapter 19, Motor Vehicles and Traffic, Schedule G, Stop Intersections of the Code of the City of Jefferson by the addition of North Circle Drive before entering West Circle Drive.
Mr. Marash?
Thank you. Yes, again, like the clerk indicated, this will add a stop sign in North Circle Drive. It's somewhat of a cleanup, but somebody brought it to our attention through the Traffic and Transportation Commission, and a stop sign will be added at this T intersection.
Thank you. Any questions? 2017-62.
An ordinance amending Chapter 19, Motor Vehicles and Traffic, and Chapter 22, Parking, Stopping, and Standing of the Code of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, by modification of portions to match existing conditions and plans for the Capitol Avenue Improvements Project.
Mr. Marash?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As clerk indicated, this is another cleanup ordinance, actually, where we're going back with our project on Capitol Avenue and updating our traffic code to reflect what is being built there. We also noticed a few other irregularities related to our traffic code, so we're also modifying some of those to clean up as well.
Any questions? Thank you. 2017-63.
An ordinance amending Chapter 21, Nuisances of the Code of the City of Jefferson, Missouri pertaining to abatement of nuisances.
Mrs. Abbott?
Thank you. Kind of to follow up with what Matt Marash was saying, this is really a cleanup of Chapter 21 within Articles number 1, generality, Article 2 for weeds, Article 3 for trees, Article 5 for storage of goods. We're taking this opportunity to provide cleanup, to provide to correct discrepancies and clarifications for department director handling nuisance codes. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions? All right. 2017-64.
An ordinance approving the redevelopment project of the St. Mary's Hospital Tax Increment Financing Plan and adopting tax increment financing therein.
Mr. Molman?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This ordinance activates the St. Mary's Hospital TIF, and what that means is essentially what it does. It approves the redevelopment project over at the St. Mary's TIF site and adopts the imposition of tax increment financing in that area. It essentially is what turns on the TIF function on the project. It's part of the sequence of approving TIF projects. This ordinance is a little unique. It requires, the statute requires that the TIF activation ordinance be introduced to the City Council within 90 days of the TIF Commission approval. But the final approval of the activation ordinance will not take place, will not be brought forward to the Council until later on in the project, when the project is ready to take advantage of TIF financing and actually start generating revenues to be placed in the Special Allocation Fund. It's in front of the Council at this time, mostly because of a unique feature of the TIF statute. Mr. Jeremy Cover from Lauber Municipal Law is here to help answer any questions. So if there are any questions, Jeremy or myself would be happy to help out.
Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Cover, for being here. And does Council have any questions? Councilman Mihaljevic.
I see that this is being first read and we have several pending. Is there any urgency to bring this forward with the others that are being third read tonight?
They're independent of the items being third read tonight. The only urgency that there is that it be introduced to the Council within 90 days of the TIF Commission. So it's by being on this agenda, it has fulfilled the statutory obligation of the Council seeing it and having it introduced to it as the governing body. So being here on the agenda fulfills that function. So you don't want to wait too long and accidentally let that 90 days lapse, because then you have to start the whole process again, and no one wants to do that.
Any questions? All right, thank you. 2017-65.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, amending the 2016-2017 budget of the City of Jefferson, Missouri by appropriating additional funds within the general fund.
Mr. Morash?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And this ordinance, as everyone well knows, probably came from the budget process, and there's a check mark by it, meaning there's a request to suspend the rules and pass it tonight. But basically, it's a $750,000 supplemental appropriation for stormwater. The staff would look at a use and implementation plan for the money and bring that back as we develop it.
Thank you. There's also a check mark by this one, so is there a desire of council to suspend the rules? Councilman Prather?
Madam Mayor, I wish to suspend the rules for this bill.
Okay.
Second.
Are there any objections to suspending the rules? And we just need a request, so we don't necessarily need to vote on that. And looks like we will move forward with third reading of 2017-65.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, amending the 2016-2017 budget of the City of Jefferson, Missouri by appropriating additional funds within the general fund.
Is there any further council deliberation or discussion? Roll call, please.
Henry.
Aye.
Hussey.
Aye.
Kemna.
Aye.
Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Schreiber.
Aye.
Ward. Aye. Wiseman.
Aye.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 12, bills pending, 2017-37.
An ordinance approving the St. Mary's Hospital Tax Increment Financing Plan, designating a redevelopment area, declaring the proposed redevelopment area a blighted area, and designating F&F Development, LLC, as the developer of the redevelopment project.
Mr. Mullman?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As clerk indicated, this ordinance approves the St. Mary's TIF hospital plan, declares the redevelopment area to be blighted, designates F&F Development LLC as the developer of the redevelopment project. The TIF plan was unanimously approved by the TIF Commission after a public hearing. At the last council meeting, this body heard presentations from the developer, the city's Special Economic Development Council, and the city's municipal financial advisor. As I indicated earlier, Mr. Jeremy Cover from Lauber Municipal Law is here to help answer any questions, and I believe that there are representatives from the developer here as well, and I'm sure they would make themselves available for your disposal if you have any questions specifically for the developer.
All right, thank you. Does council have any questions? Deliberation? Councilman Graham?
Yes, Madam Mayor, Mayor, and to City Council members, as you all know, I am employed at Lincoln University, so I will recuse myself from the discussion as well as the vote. As an administrator of Lincoln University, I know, so I will be recusing myself from bills number 2717-37 through 2017-39. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Graham. Any further discussion on 2017-37? Councilman Hussey?
I guess just for the public's sake, like, I support the plan. I appreciate the developers putting this forward. I think it's from our last meeting and council discussion, it's a good use of that property. It's an area of the community that certainly needs it. And I mean, these comments could apply to the next 3 or 4 bills before us, but I think this is a step in the right direction. So I appreciate the Farmer Holding Company for doing this, and I look forward to really good things taking place in this plan, in this area, and kickstart something there, that high-profile spot in Jefferson City. So thank you to the developer for certainly taking the risk. I think it's worth saying that this is a project that, for clarity's sake, that it's not as though public dollars flow directly in, that it's a pay-as-you-go, per se, in the sense that the developer gets reimbursed for certain expenses based on the success of the project, and so there's a lot of risk taken, and we're fortunate to have a local developer certainly do that for us. So I'm happy to support the proposals before us this evening.
Thank you, Councilman Hussey. Any other comments? All right, Mrs. Powell, roll call, please.
Hussey.
Aye.
Kemna.
Aye.
Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Schreiber.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Wiseman.
Aye.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Graham. Henry.
Aye.
Bill passes. 2017-38.
An ordinance approving a tax increment financing contract between the City of Jefferson, Missouri and F&F Development, LLC for the implementation of the St. Mary's Hospital Tax Increment Financing Plan and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement.
Mr. Mullman?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. TIF redevelopment agreement between a developer and the city is an essential part of any TIF redevelopment, and so this ordinance and attached contract fulfills that function. It sets forth the obligations for the administration and implementation of the TIF financing. Once again, we're here to answer any specific questions you have on this particular ordinance.
Thank you. Any questions? Council deliberation? Comments? Okay. Roll call, please.
Kamna.
Aye.
Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Schreiber.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Wiseman.
Aye.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Graham. Henry.
Aye.
Hussey.
Aye.
Bill passes. 2017-39.
An ordinance approving the petition to establish the St. Mary's Hospital Community Improvement District and establishing the St. Mary's Hospital Community Improvement District.
Mr. Mullman?
Thank you. This ordinance approves a petition to create a community improvement district, otherwise known as a SID, within the St. Mary's redevelopment area. The SID will be utilized to impose a 1% sales tax and will help finance project costs within the area. SIDs are independent political subdivisions created under the SID statutes, and it is run by an independent board of directors.
Councilman Hussey?
I just have kind of a random question for you or the developer. It's always referred to the St. Mary's Community Improvement District. Will we see that name change, or I guess for clarity's sake, it references an old site? And if there's a name change to the plan or to the whole project in general in these legal documents, is that permitted just to be done?
From a legal perspective, once we get through the approval process, that'll probably be the retirement of that name, just for purposes of identification. I'm sure that that the developers have other marketing plans for that property, but for purposes of these documents, it kind of is what it is and helps identify the area for the council and for the public.
And so a future name change doesn't really require us to do anything?
No.
Okay.
Any further questions? Roll call, please.
Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Schreiber.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Wiseman.
Aye.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Graham. Henry.
Aye.
Hussey.
Aye.
Kamna.
Aye.
Bill passes. 2017-40.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri authorizing the mayor to enter into a cooperative agreement with the St. Mary's Hospital Community Improvement District for funding and financing of Community Improvement District improvements in relation to the St. Mary's Hospital tax increment financing.
Mr. Mullman?
Thank you once again. This ordinance approves a cooperative agreement between the city and the to-be-established St. Mary's Hospital Community Improvement District. As I said, SIDs are independent political subdivisions of the state, so this agreement sets up the governance of the relationship between the city and the SID for the duration of the SID.
Council questions or deliberation? Councilman Graham?
I think I spoke earlier. I was going to recuse myself from bills number 37 through 39. But I need to amend that to say 37 through 40.
Any further council discussion? Roll call, please.
Prather.
Aye.
Schreiber.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Wiseman.
Aye.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Graham. Henry.
Aye.
Hussey.
Aye.
Kamna.
Aye.
Mahalovich.
Aye.
Bill passes. 2017-41. Oh, I'm sorry, we took that one up already. Skip that one. And 42 has already been taken up. 2017-43.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, amending the City Code, Chapter 13, Section 13-42 and Section 13-43 by replacing the adoption of the International Fire Code 2009 and amendments to the International Fire Code 2009 by adoption of the International Fire Code 2015.
Thank you. And Mr. Burkhart is going to give us a combined bill summary.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The series of bills 2017-43 through 2017-50 is adopting this stack of books. There's 10 different codes, and so if you'd like to read them sometime, Phyllis has a copy, or the city clerk has a copy. But it was reviewed by over 33 citizens of the community, design professionals, owners, developers, and over 18 months. They went through each page pretty much, except for maybe the National Electric Code, because the electrical board and also the plumbing board went through their respective codes. It was a pretty thorough review, and the only comments that we really received from the community were some concerns about fire sprinklers in apartment buildings. Other than that, it was pretty well received and understood. So as you go through the bills, I will be glad to answer any questions or answer any questions now before you proceed.
Any questions of council? All right, we'll let you proceed. Or I guess that's true. That is your summary, so council is fine with that. Okay, never mind. 2017-43, so at this time, any council deliberation on that particular bill, we'll take them up one at a time. Okay, seeing none, roll call, please.
Schreiber.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Wiseman.
Aye.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Henry.
Aye.
Hussey.
Aye.
Kemna.
Aye.
Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Bill passes. 2017-44.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, amending the City Code, Chapter 8, Section 8-2 and Section 8-3 by replacing the adoption of the National Electrical Code 2011 and amendments to the National Electrical Code 2011 by the adoption of the National Electrical Code 2014.
And nothing else to add on the bill summary. Does this council have any deliberation? Roll call, please.
Ward.
Aye.
Wiseman.
Aye.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Henry.
Aye.
Hussey.
Aye.
Kemna.
Aye.
Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Schreiber.
Aye.
Bill passes. 2017-45.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, amending the City Code, Chapter 8, Section 8-4 and Section 8-5 by replacing the adoption of the International Plumbing Code 2009 and amendments to the International Plumbing Code 2009 by adoption of the 2015 International Plumbing Code.
Any further council deliberation? Roll call, please.
Wiseman.
Aye.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Henry.
Aye.
Hussey.
Aye.
Kemna. Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Schreiber.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Bill passes. 2017-46.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, amending the City Code, Chapter 8, Article 1, Section 8-6, Section 8-7, Section 8-8, and Section 8-9 by inserting by adoption of the 2015 International Mechanical and Fuel Gas Codes and amendments to the 2015 International Mechanical and Fuel Gas Codes.
Any council discussion? Roll call, please.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Henry.
Aye.
Hussey.
Aye.
Kemna. Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Schreiber.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Wiseman.
Aye.
Bill passes. 2017-47.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, amending the City Code, Chapter 8, Article 2, Section 818, Section 819, Section 821, and Section 822 by replacing the adoption of the 2009 International Building Code and Residential Codes and amendments to the 2009 International Building Code and Residential Codes by adoption of the 2015 International Building and Residential Codes.
Any council discussion? Roll call, please.
Graham.
Aye.
Henry.
Aye.
Hussey.
Aye.
Kemna. Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Schreiber.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Wiseman.
No.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Bill passes. 2017-48.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, amending the City Code, Chapter 8, Article 2, Section 823 and Section 824 by inserting the adoption of the 2015 International Existing Building Code and amendments to the 2015 International Existing Building Code.
Any council discussion? Roll call, please.
Henry.
Aye.
Hussey.
Aye.
Kemna. Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Schreiber.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Wiseman.
Aye.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Bill passes. 2017-49.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, amending the City Code, Chapter 8, Article 2, Section 825 and Section 826 by inserting the adoption of the 2015 International Swimming Pool and Spa Code and amendments to the 2015 International Swimming Pool and Spa Code.
Any council discussion? Roll call, please.
Hussey.
Aye.
Kemna.
Aye.
Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Schreiber.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Wiseman.
Aye.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Henry.
Aye.
Bill passes. 2017-50.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, amending the City Code, Chapter 8, Section 849 and Section 850 by replacing the adoption of the 2009 International Property Maintenance Code and amendments to the 2009 International Property Maintenance Code by adoption of the 2015 International Property Maintenance Code.
Any council discussion? Roll call. Oh, I'm sorry. Councilman Graham.
Yeah, I just have one question in regards to under section 103.2 under appointment. It says the Director of Planning and Protective Services shall recommend to the city administrator the employment of inspectors and other employees in sufficient numbers to assure enforcement of the property maintenance code. Is there a number that you have in mind? Are we at that sufficient number, or will we see coming to the council or recommending to the city administrator that we need more employees?
Well, I'll leave that up to Jamie, who's actually the supervisor of that section.
I will say we are currently staffed. I mean, as the code currently reads right now, we're currently surpassing numbers from last year. It took us 7 months to surpass the 2016 annual figures. So I feel that we're confident that we're at the right level right now, but in the future that may change depending on codes that are adopted in the future.
Mr. Kroll?
And I would just add, based on the current procedures that we use, I mean, it's still on a reactionary request kind of a basis, and we don't have as much proactive enforcement, but I think that becomes a discussion with council certainly each time we have budget.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Any further council discussion? Roll call, please.
Kemna.
Aye.
Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Schreiber.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Wiseman.
Aye.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Henry.
Aye.
Hussey.
Aye.
Bill passes. And I know we got through those code bills fairly quickly tonight, but I want to thank you, Mr. Burkhardt, and your department for working through all of these very meticulously. I know there's a lot of reading in there and a lot of information, and the citizens group that has been meeting for 18 months or however, I mean, for quite a while going through that. And we appreciate those volunteers that are experts in different areas in the community to give input. And I think that's why we came out with such a very smooth time here at the council level, because there was so much wonderful input from the community and from you and your department and staff. So we certainly appreciate that. And the fire department too. And I know we had Chief Schofield give us a good update. There was at the last meeting quite a bit of discussion, and so this will certainly help us with a lot of safety issues into the future of Jefferson City. So thank you all. 2017-51.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute an agreement with Double Map in the amount of $318,000 $245.86 to provide equipment and services related to automatic vehicle locators, automatic voice annunciators, and automatic passenger counters.
Mr. Marash?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As clerk indicated, this is a contract it's with Double Map, and it's going to provide three things for our bus system: the locator service, the voice annunciator, and the auto passenger counter. So that's going to be really helpful into the future as we plan new routes. The contract's mainly grant funded. Approximately $255,000 are grant funds, and $64,000 are transit funds from the CIP, half-cent capital improvement sales tax. And be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any deliberation, questions? Roll call, please.
Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Schreiber.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Wiseman.
Aye.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Henry.
Aye.
Hussey.
Aye.
Kemna.
Aye.
Bill passes. 2017-52.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri vacating and discontinuing part of a 10-foot wide utility easement on Lot 2 of Veith subdivision.
Mr. Marash?
Thank you. As the bill indicated, we're vacating a 10-foot wide utility easement, and the purpose is the owner discovered this when they came in for a permit to build a deck.
Any council discussion? Roll call, please.
Prather.
Aye.
Schreiber.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Wiseman.
Aye.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Henry.
Aye.
Hussey.
Aye.
Kemna.
Aye.
Mahalovich.
Aye.
Bill passes. 2017-53.
An ordinance amending Chapter 19, Motor Vehicles and Traffic, Schedule J, Parking Prohibited, of the Code of the City of Jefferson, Missouri pertaining to a portion of Tyler Street.
Mr. Marash?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This bill would remove a parking restriction on Tyler Street that was instituted a few years back due to some visually impaired folks living on that street, and allow for parking.
Any council discussion? Roll call, please.
Schreiber.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Wiseman.
Aye.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Henry.
Aye.
Hussey.
Aye.
Kemna.
Aye.
Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Bill passes. 2017-54.
An ordinance amending Chapter 19, Motor Vehicles and Traffic, Schedule J, Parking Prohibited of the Code of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, pertaining to parking on a portion of Myrtle Avenue.
Mr. Marash?
Thank you. As a result of the new reconstruction of Myrtle Street along and adjacent to the Hialeah Sports Complex, the parking will now be removed along that section of roadway, and kind of a cleanup ordinance to reflect the plans that were produced to build the street.
Any council discussion? Roll call, please.
Ward.
Aye.
Wiseman.
Aye.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Henry.
Aye.
Hussey.
Aye.
Kemna.
Aye.
Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Schreiber.
Aye.
Bill passes. 2017-55.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute a $100,000 time and material agreement with Alelco Incorporated for sensory control and data acquisition and programmable logic controller programming, maintenance, and upgrades.
Mr. Marash?
Thank you. Again, it's a $100,000 contract with Alelco. Basically, it's an on-call contract to help us with our SCADA systems that they relate to wastewater, our wastewater system, and other electronics at the wastewater system.
Any council discussion? Roll call, please.
Wiseman.
Aye.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Henry.
Aye.
Hussey.
Aye.
Kemna.
Aye.
Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Schreiber.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Bill passes. 2017-57.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, amending the fire department examination and selection procedures.
Chief Schofield?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This change and update to our ordinance that covers new hire selection procedure would allow us to make better use of a candidate's time and consolidate both the written and the practical portions of testing, potentially even into the same day. Be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Henry.
Aye.
Hussey.
Aye.
Kemna.
Aye.
Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Schreiber.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Wiseman.
Aye.
Bill passes. And nothing on the informal calendar. Item 14, we have no resolutions. Item 15, nobody signed up for our presentations from the gallery on other topics. Item 16, is there any council or staff discussion of presentation topics? Councilman Mahalovich?
Just like to thank the moon pies and the gift of the eclipse after the effort of the challenge.
Well, you are welcome. I have to say, you really stepped it way up, like way beyond any of our, Councilwoman Wiseman is like nodding her head, like beyond any of our expectations, I have to say. Although I want to thank Councilman Fitzwater and Kemna for trying to get my selfies up. I mean, with their glasses, I know, no offense, but they did help. They were helping to with our selfies, but you deserve it. Councilman Fitzwater?
Larry has agreed the next eclipse that comes over Jefferson City, we're getting in the contest.
You're in, right? I'm in for the next.
All right.
It's on. All right, any further, let's see, where was I? New business, unfinished business. All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned.